Before we get into any of that stuff, I want to say one thing real quick, and it's already been given away. I wanted to make something special for the stream before we finish up, so this is one thing you're only going to be able to do for the next couple of streams, but I figured, hey, you know what? Chat. I taught chat how to do magic. I taught chat a magic spell. So, we have been abusing Celeste as far as casting Detect Magic all the time, so now there is a redeem that lets you do this.
Repario Arcanum.
And you can just cast Detect Magic whatever the hell you want. And I thought that would be a fun little thing to do, so enjoy that. In the meantime, new game. Case 5. I actually had a thought about this guy. I wonder if this is the King Olivier that we keep hearing about. Of course, I wonder why we would defend him or why he would need defending if he was the king, but he looks pretty kingly. He looks like he could be Alistair and Oster's father. But we're basically looking forward to everything happening in this chapter. This is the last chapter, so Eris is going to make her move. Cuthbert's going to go through whatever arc he's got going on. We got to catch up with Steelwind and see how she's doing. I imagine this chapter is going to end with Steelwind and Oster getting married and maybe moving the kingdom toward a direction that isn't run by assholes. I also speculated Celeste was going to die. I'm going to take that back. I don't think she's going to die, but I think she is going to be forced to betray us or stab us in the back via Eris. Because we already know Eris can manipulate people, and she wants to break us, and if there's going to be any way she's going to break us, it's going to be through Celeste. It's sure going to be through Ruby. I imagine the king has quite a bit of power in this kingdom, considering the way the nobles act. I mean, that one guy in Case 3 literally just got away with murder. He's like, screw it, I'm the head of a house. Come at me, bro. But I also wonder how we're going to end up countering Eris, because anybody who's familiar with Bleach, who's read the manga or seen the anime, knows that Eris is basically Aizen. She can make you see or hear whatever the hell she wants. To an extent, she can make you think whatever the hell she wants. And that is a little bit bonkers, so I'm going to assume that we will be plot conveniently immune to that via our eyeballs. Does he have any checks against him? I highly doubt it. The only check I've seen against the nobles so far has been us. The nobles basically do whatever the hell they want. But, yeah, we have a lot to look forward to here. Are we going to figure out who Celeste's parents were? Haven't seen her read Bleach. Well, don't worry about it. Just know that Eris is OP. But are we going to find out who Eris is, like, what her house is, where she comes from? We're going to find out about where the Eyes of Horus come from? Are we going to ass pull something like we did at the end of the last case where we just, you know, magically produced a contract on our desk and we're like, oh, look at what this says. Are we going to resolve things with Ruby? Like, there's all sorts of threads hanging that I'm looking forward to getting tied off. And, again, things are going to be major, because Eris is going to make her move, and we're going to have to beat her in some way. And, of course, not only that, but how is this all going to take place in the format of a trial? Because I assume there's going to be a trial. There's going to be a murder. Who's going to die? Is it going to be someone we know? Is it going to be Ruby? Again, I don't think it's going to be Celeste, but she's not off the table. Are we going to see another protag swap? Are we going to play as another character? Lots of stuff. Lots of possibilities, and I am looking forward to what's going to happen. So, let us look forward no longer and just get right into it. I've killed people. Okay. Oh, here's another thought I had just off the top of my head. We've kind of established that Iris is essentially a demon. She seems to be. I wonder if she's also incapable of lying. Because that would be an interesting thing to go back and look at the things that she said and, you know, maybe she's twisted her words the same way Manaroth or whatever the hell his name was did. But I wonder if she's bound by the same rules and restrictions as well. But, yeah, this is the chapter where Eris is going to pop off, and I have a feeling she's the one talking. I've killed people. They were usually criminals or bandits. but it still frightened me how unaffected I was by their deaths. It always came so easily to me. I was good at it, a little too good. Not Celeste, is it? People told me that taking the lives of others would be hard, but I never felt that uneasiness. Not even once. Probably not Celeste. It made me think that I was some kind of unfeeling monster. Might be Eris still. And maybe I am. But the time I spent with you filled me with more happiness than I could have ever dreamed of. Okay, so this might be Celeste. Instead of taking lives, I could save them alongside you. It felt good to protect you. Again, it's funny that Celeste was being charged with a murder at the beginning of the game when she's literally just sliced people up. Mage Blades! It felt good to protect you. I felt needed when I knew you were relying on me. It made me feel like I was actually worth something to someone. Whenever I saw the light in your eyes, it filled my heart with a warm feeling that I've never felt before. Almost certainly Celeste. But it was too good to be true, wasn't it? Uh-oh. Was this another flash forward? Uh-oh. In the end, I failed you. I couldn't protect you. Just like I couldn't protect my father. What happened to our boy? I don't understand. What did you ever see in someone like me? Episode 5, Attorney of the Arcane. Tyrion? Oh, we're in a new inn. We actually found a place that didn't have the same design as the last 3. You still haven't gotten out of bed yet. It's almost noon. Man, our boy's depressed. I think I just want to rest today. You've been saying that for the last 10 days. Damn. Someone is actually here to see you. Don't be Eris. Or it's Eris or Ruby. You should really get out of bed. Is it Tamora? No. So it's Eris. I'm still not really in the mood. Can you just send them away? Oh, okay. That would probably have been my third guess. Well, how are you doing? That's a bit rude, but I suppose I can overlook it this time. Yeah, how have you been since last chapter? We barely got to see you after you got sliced up. As the prosecutor enters our room, we immediately leap out of bed. Also, it's funny, there was a comment on one of the YouTube videos, the first one, I think, where they were talking about how, yeah, the third-person narrative is confusing to them, too. I'm going to keep saying it in a first-person narrative. I'm going to keep rewording it because it makes far more sense. I don't know why it's in a third person. It's just awkward. We try to futilely clean our unkempt hair, but we're just making it worse. Tyrion pants! Oh, right, sorry. We'll give you some time to ready yourself. I knew he was in a rut, but I certainly didn't expect this. I know. I'm really worried about him. I empathize with his situation, but it's been a month already. Damn, I thought it'd been 10 days. Have you tried speaking with him? He has opened up to you before. I did, but I think he's really broken up over what happened with Ruby. She's basically the closest thing he had to family. I see. Perhaps he just needs more time. After taking some time to make ourselves presentable, we exit our room to greet the prosecutor properly. Sorry about that. No, I suppose the fault is mine. I shouldn't have intruded. Anyway, what brings you here? Yeah, you look like you're doing alright. It's a fantasy novel that we've been reading through. Recently, we've had a lot of time to read through our collection. Did you read that mystery novel I lent you? I did, but I kind of guessed the twist from the beginning. Ha! Relatable. What? How? Hey, come on. You read enough of these things, you understand the meta. The author called a lot of attention to the vials she dropped. It was pretty obvious the nurse accidentally switched them. I guess fiction can't beat a real murder investigation for you. It's a stairway leading to the second story of our home. Oh! We have retired to our house on the beach. No wonder it looks different. It's a stairway leading to the second story of our home. You definitely missed something big when you dozed off last week. Well, you missed a lot that happened last week, but that's what the VOD's for. We haven't cleaned up the upper floor in a while, so it would probably be best to make sure Steelwind doesn't wander up there. Well, she shouldn't be wandering around my house anyway. Oh, remember when I helped you move this bed from the flea market? Right. We remember her doing most, if not all, of the work. We didn't even know that carrying a bed single-handedly was humanly possible. And she's pretty strong. That's it. That's all we got. I'm not even going to repair your Arcanum, because now we can just do it ourselves. Hey, you! Let's talk about me. Are you doing well, Mr. Cuthbert? You seem... I'm fine. I'm Apollo Justice and I'm fine. Apollo Justice Trilogy releases in 3 days on Steam. Literally the exact same day, Coffin and I start streaming our Ace Attorney Let's Play of the original trilogy, which is a pretty funny coincidence. Of course. Yeah, no you're not. You're not as convincing as Apollo. I just couldn't help but notice your absence. Have we been missing trials? You haven't taken any other clients since Beatrice's trial. Also, how have you been doing? I'm gonna be honest. I'm not even sure if I want to be a defense attorney anymore. What? I spent my whole life training to be one. You're 20, dude. But I was only doing it because someone else told me to. Is that how old he is? Hang on a second. Yeah, he is 20. I've trained my whole life. His whole entire life. Did you not enjoy it? You are very skilled at it. I don't know. I've been trying to take some time off to think about everything. But we still haven't found any answers. Have you considered becoming a prosecutor? Is that the sequel? Your time as my stand-in made it clear that you have the ability to. A prosecutor? I would have never even considered that a year ago. Well, we understand now. There are criminals who need to be brought to justice. Yeah, but what are you gonna do? Like, you want to fight the nobility. Or do you want to fight the nobility? Is that something that you've decided Ruby just wants you to do and you weren't really that into? And despite how difficult she is to face, Steelwind never engages in outright corruption like the other prosecutors of the Crown. If we follow her example, we could fight injustice that way. But even if we did that, we'd just be following someone else's footsteps, just like before. I mean, you gotta have some kind of role model, my guy. I'll think about it. Please do. At this point, I could use all the help I can find. Whoa, that filled up. Have your injuries been healing well? Boy, that mend wounds spell is crap, isn't it? Yes, Nightgrave's skill in necromancy is quite remarkable. I'm glad I introduced him to House... yeah, what? Is that the fourth house that we haven't heard of yet? No, I think we've heard of the 4 house names. That was not one of them. House Asclepius. I'm glad I introduced him to House Asclepius. Asclepius? Yeah, that's my reaction too, Tyrion. House Asclepius specializes in the study of necromancy. After Nightgrave's expulsion from the academy, I thought it was only right that he be allowed to continue his studies. Right, he mentioned that he owed you a favor. Oh, that's the favor. That's right, he did mention that he owed her a favor. I speculated that it was just, like, letting him off the hook or whatever, but no, that's what she did for him. It was only logical. It would have been a waste to let someone of his talents fade into obscurity. We're glad Wallace was able to continue his studies. He clearly wants to use his talents to better society. He's definitely in a better place than we are right now. Even so, should you still be moving around like this? You should take some time off to recover. As much as I would like to, there's been a recent uptick in cases of mage blight lately. This is another thing I was going to mention and then forgot to in the intro, because we touched on mage blight cases in case 2. Orium White was... We were discussing this with him, where there's been mage blight cases lately, and it was implied it had something to do with Eris, where they weren't actually mage blight cases, but Eris was driving people crazy or controlling them to do stupid things in similar ways that she did with the headmaster. Are we going to talk about the purple mark and stuff like that? Why are the mage blight cases increasing? What is Eris's angle there? What is she getting out of that? Mage blight. We recall hearing about that many times. If a mage exceeds their stamina by overusing their magic, it starts to affect their mind and send them into a violent frenzy. Repair your Arcanum, repair your Arcanum, repair your Arcanum. To make matters worse, the nobility has been trying to suppress information about these incidents. Right, it's not a good look whenever a mage goes on a murderous rampage. Can we talk more about that? I was actually surprised to see you here, Celeste. Well, I can't just leave him here alone anymore. He ticked off a criminal overlord, who is probably dead. They're definitely going to send someone after him. He can't really take care of himself right now. Did we tell you that we can see thoughts? Because we said at the end of the last chapter that we needed to chat with you about that. And we can see that. Celeste, your thoughts are leaking. Yeah, okay, we did talk to her about it. Hey, get out of my head! What? It's nothing. I am surprised, though. Not many people slight the Eye Taker and live. Well, the Eye Taker is probably dead, from how the last chapter ended off. But yeah, we have talked to Celeste about the Eye of Horus then, but not Arya. He's known for taking swift retaliation against his enemies. We're hoping he's laying low after his plan with Beatrice fell through. He's laying quite low. 6 feet under, as it turns out. That does match with the reports I've read. Supposedly, he's been absent from many of his enterprises. Either way, we're not looking forward to dealing with him. I guess Eris is now running those things under the guise of being his daughter. It's bad enough that we were already on the nobility's bad side. Just pissing everyone off today. Ruby! By the way, Tyrion, Ruby sent another letter. Do you want to... Put it with the rest. I'm not reading it. I don't care. Right. Have you spoken to her since the trial? That would be a no. I see. That does explain her recent mood. Right, you two probably see each other a lot. I've prosecuted a few of her clients recently. Who won? But it's clear she's not nearly as threatening as before, so you. Could we talk about something else? I want to forget Ruby exists. Of course, my apologies. Oh, the tea's ready! Ice, the tea is ready! Oh, thank you. Some tea sounds lovely right now. Hey, who told you were going to have any? Right, I was totally making it for you guys. She walks to the cabinet in our kitchen and she takes out 2 more teacups. You guys better enjoy this. These are my last bags of... Whoa! What's whoa? As she walks over to me, she slips on a scroll case that we left on the floor. Well, there goes the tea. She regains her balance, but the teacups slip out of her hands. The boiling liquid is airborne and headed right toward our face. Well, I hope somebody knows mend wounds. Oh, well, somebody knows something. Fig aqua! She turned the water into figs! Celeste reacts immediately and points her index finger at the tea. Her magic takes hold and the tea freezes just inches from our face. Is Arya gonna ask a little bit more about this? Because she was very curious about Celeste's magic learning abilities in the 2nd chapter. How many spells do you know now? Like 20? She breathes a sigh of relief and brings the tea back into their cups. You really need to clean this place. I'm your bodyguard, not your maid. Right. Sorry about that. That was shape liquid, wasn't it? Oh yeah, I vaguely remember that being the keyword for shape liquid from the first case. That is the shape liquid spell. Yeah. Yeah, there we go. Why are we getting this now? Why is this going to be relevant? Shape liquid, once again. Oh, I never expected you to... I know, but it's just too convenient not to have. She's really opened her mind about learning new spells. We remember when we first met her. Back then, she only knew how to cast Mage Blade. She hated magic back then. You never imagined how diverse her repertoire would become. Uh-oh. Another visitor? Who's this gonna be? Is this gonna be Ruby forcing herself onto us, or, who else? I'm already up. I'll check it. Well, whoever they are, I'm not giving up any more of my lotus tea. Wait a minute. I was just making tea for myself. Then it's you three. This isn't a damn cafe. You want tea? Go to what's-her-face, the Chuny. Rika. We open the door and don't see anyone. But there's a letter in our mailbox. We take a closer look at the envelope. It's sealed with candle wax. Interesting. There's a crest on it. It's the insignia of House Pierce. How dare you learn shape liquid? This means war. We quickly open the letter and read it. Despite supposedly being written by a noble, the paper has been torn in half, but the message is clear. It's literally Garrick. Interesting. Callbacks. I hope you understand. I would never have contacted you unless I had no other choice. I'm glad this guy and Lloyd are never in the same chapter because they have literally the same voice. I know the truth behind McCoy's true parentage. Well, we got to the point on that one quick. And I'm aware of how vital this information is to you. As you know, my execution is scheduled for next month, and I'm running out of time. I want to trade this information with you. In exchange, you will grant me my freedom. Well, blackmail. Meet me in the private prayer room within the Grand Cathedral of the Scaled Lord at 2 p.m. You will save me from my fate, or else... Why is there no period there? Or else what? It got cut off. Why is it torn in the middle? I hope you understand. I never would have contacted you, blah, blah, blah. Well, if he thinks for a second that we'd even think of helping him, I know how you feel, but aren't these the answers you've been looking for? I don't care! We're not gonna help him! Yeah, I feel like this is a bad deal. If he can figure out the parentage, we can figure out that parentage, and we're not letting yet another murderer walk. It's bad enough that Lloyd is walking around. That was never an option, but there's clearly more to this. I agree. How was he able to find out in the first place? The truth is, Celeste, I've also been looking into your parentage. What? Oh, well then good, we don't have to do this. Why didn't you say anything? I'm sorry, but I didn't want to raise your hopes. And I was apparently right to do so. I couldn't find any information regarding your birth. So if you couldn't find anything, how is Pierce able to? House Pierce is low on the political hierarchy. He doesn't have access to the resources I do. He does own the land the McCoy Tavern is on. But frankly, this whole situation is quite suspect. Why would he ask for my help? I was the one who indicted him in the first place. Yeah, also that. What exactly are we going to do? Even if I did agree to help him, it would be nearly impossible for me to get him an acquittal. Is this some kind of setup? A forgery? He must be desperate. Is he going to be the next murder victim? And we're going to get framed for it. His execution is scheduled for next month, after all. It's possible that he reached out to Tamora as well. Still, I can't believe he'd set up a meeting at the Grand Cathedral today of all days. Why? What happens today? Is it your wedding? Why? What's happening there? I'm sorry, but it's not my place to tell you. It is your wedding, isn't it? And that's going to be not a coincidence. Arya, can I talk with Tyrion alone for a minute? Of course. I'm sure you have much to discuss. I actually also have business at the cathedral today. I can't believe he'd use that as an opportunity. It is her wedding, isn't it? Straight up. Yeah, probably. I'll be taking my leave. What did you come here for, anyway? I'm sorry, I'm sure this is bringing up bad memories for you. We should meet with him. What? We're not going to help him, obviously. But I had an idea. He's probably really scared of his execution, right? And he's desperate enough to ask you for help. This is still a setup. This is not going to go the way you think it is. I suppose that's true. So think about how stressed he would be if you showed up and refused to help him. Oh, and we're just gonna look at him with our eyeballs and get the information that way? I could use the Eye of Horus on him. We could get the info we need without having to give him anything. Well, clearly we've told her how this works, so that's nice and all, but I still think this is a setup. But are you really okay with this? You'll have to see him again. Yeah, I'll manage. And it'll be worth it if we can finally get the answers I'm looking for. We've already gotten our hopes up, but there's no guarantee that he actually knows the truth. He could just be bluffing to get us to help him. I still don't understand what we're supposed to do. But if he does know, we can't just ignore it. We need to verify his claims ourselves. That's a new CG. So this is the Grand Cathedral of the Scaled Lord. That's a lot of buildings. Have you never been here before? I thought you spent a lot of time in Ratholm. The Church of Bahamut wasn't that popular in my hometown, and I've never been the religious type. What about you? Never really caught on with me. And apparently my roots are more celestial than draconic. Dun dun dun. Yeah, I guess that makes sense. He certainly has the looks for it. Are you intentionally thinking things to hit on us? Your thoughts are leaking again. Can you stop? No, I can't actually. It's automatic. Can't exactly turn it off, you know. Do those mental exercises I taught you, so he's been training her how to not leak her thoughts, and she's just like, You know, you waited a few months to tell me how to do that, jerk. Ugh. Do your meditation. As we approach the Grand Cathedral, we see a large blockade guarded by legions of the King's Guard. It's closed off. Is there some kind of event going on? We recall Steelwind mentioning that she was headed here as well. The nobility must be using the cathedral grounds for something. Can't possibly imagine what. It might explain why Pierce wanted to meet us here. It's probably secluded from prying eyes today. I mean, there's still many eyes around, sorry. Tyrion Cuthbert? Oh, he's been expecting us. As we approach the blockade, one of the knights notices us. He glances at me and Celeste. We've been expecting you. I see. We exchange glances with Celeste, but we both enter the cathedral grounds. Ooh, now there's a cathedral. The main building is massive, yet mostly empty. We only see a few people within, and most of them are quite familiar. We spot Loth and Miriam as we head further into the room. Are there going to be a lot of people here for Steelwind's wedding? I guess it would make sense to invite the heads of house, whatever the hell these guys are again. What the hell was the name of their house? Frega? Fredo? I don't know, Frega. I think it's Frega, right? Yeah, Frega. And you're here too, I guess. The dog's here! Damn, you're already here. Regardless of what happened in the trials, I guess it would be expected to invite the heads of the houses if Steelwind and Oster are getting married. They both avoid eye contact with us, but that doesn't seem to be purely out of resentment. I mean, like I said, we were going to break our word to you and it sucks, but hey, your sister was guilty of things I can't mention because Ice dozed off and I don't want to spoil her. As soon as they see us, they move their conversation elsewhere. It's clear they still have mixed feelings about how we convicted their sister. Yep. Oh, prickface! So you guys are in the same chapter. Well, butts. In another corner of the room, we spot Lloyd Von Sanctus speaking with another individual. Whoa! Hey, there's a new face. Huh. She seems to be someone of equal social standing. Is this someone from the house that Wallace was introduced to? You are clearly a mage. Huh. We feel like we've seen her somewhere before. I don't think we have. As soon as we enter the room, Von Sanctus flashes a quick look of disdain at us. Yeah, get used to it, asshole. We see him slowly move his conversation out of the room as well. Ah, and there's this guy. And that is to be expected, of course. Finally, we see Lucio Steelwind speaking with his daughter. Oh, this guy. Along with the two princes. Boy, everyone is here. What is going to happen? Which one of you is going to die? Along with the two princes, there's this fella. They seem to be speaking with another individual that we haven't met before. So is this going to be Prince Olivier? Because he would be here as well. Where the hell is Pierce? When he notices me, his gaze narrows, and he stares at the two of us warily. Hey, there's Oster. Oster especially seems surprised to see us here. Really? He and Lucio ask the prosecutor something, but we can't quite hear their conversation. When she responds, Oster raises his eyebrows and Lucio's expression darkens. What's going on here? Yeah, did she tell them about Pierce? This is a little awkward. Yeah. But we have some time before our meeting with Pierce. Why were we expected? Why were we let in? How is Eris already screwing with us? Because we know that's happening. You want to do some sightseeing? Oh, are you asking me out? We are literally already out. Sure, why not? I picked up this map from the entrance. We could use it to navigate through the area. Is that going to go into my evidence? Sure is. Map of the Grand Cathedral has been added to our notes. I'm also a little interested in what all these nobles are doing here. It is strange. Perhaps someone can tell us more. Surely it's the wedding. I mean, Steelwind is not dressed for it, certainly. But, what else could it be? Alright, well, that's a shit map. Prayer room's over there, which I think is where we're meeting with Pierce. Alright, so which one of these rooms is someone gonna get knifed in? Probably the garden. I'm gonna call it the garden. Someone's getting killed in the garden. Letter from Garrick. My badge. Shape liquid is already here. All you guys, the dog. Already. What's the dog gonna witness? I'm gonna interview the dog. There are rows upon rows of seats for worshippers to sit at. At full capacity, this room could probably host thousands of people at a time. Well, it's a stained glass window. A small ray of sunlight is shining through it. There's an altar at the end of the room. A religious figure would probably give a sermon here. And that's all we got going on, except we'll do a
Repario Arcanum.
And learn nothing. I think I saw Arya over there. We should go say hi. As we approach the group, the Grand General and the unnamed noble stare at the two of you. Hello. How are you? Nobleman looks at us, and then at Celeste. He silently scans the two of us. It's as if he's trying to read something. Yeah, who are you? Because you're gonna get accused of killing somebody. He then walks away without a word. Rude. At this point, I'm kind of used to it. Mr. Cuthbert, Miss McCoy, I'm surprised to see you here, but you are happy to see us. What? I thought you were the one who invited them. I'm sad to say that I didn't. Although, I am happy to see you two nonetheless. What brings you to the Grand Cathedral today? We were actually invited by another noble. We have a meeting with him. What? None of the people here are allowed to invite guests. As would make sense for a wedding. Why didn't the guards stop you? Oh, they said they were expecting us. What? It was Lord Pierce who invited them. Pierce? That little... And to think I granted his request for temporary release. Why did you do that? I'm sure he meant no disrespect by it. He probably had his reasons. How can you say that? This is the day of your... Yeah, they're really spelling it out. Certainly this must be their wedding day, right? Like, I thought maybe we were going to end the game with it, but it looks like it's going to be central to the case. He stops himself mid-sentence and clears his throat. Make no mistake, even if he is a dead man, I will have words with him about this. I don't care if he's going to get killed. I am going to give him a piece of my mind. I have to ask, why are all these nobles gathered here? Tyrion, you are dense as fuck. You've taken over the entire Grand Cathedral. As we ask that question, everyone seems to tense up. Why would you tense up? Just tell me. The prosecutor awkwardly looks at the two princes. Prince Alaric avoids eye contact with everyone and just stares at the ground. Why would people be awkward about this? This is weird. Maybe it isn't a wedding. I'm sorry, but I'm not at liberty to tell you that. Or does it need to be a very private thing before their marriage is disclosed? It's a matter of public safety. I see. It's a little strange, but we can read the room, even without our magic eyeballs. Prying isn't the best thing to do right now. Besides, Psy'Min already knows. You said that Lord Pierce invited you here. For what reason? I can't really tell you that. You will tell us if it poses a threat to the nobles in attendance. Please, Lord Steelwind, there's no need for that. Mr. Cuthbert would never do anything to put anyone's life in danger. As you wish, Your Majesty. Is this the reason why Pierce asked for temporary release? Could be. Interesting. So Pierce was temporarily released to attend whatever this is. He could have met with us in his cell, but perhaps he wanted to be away from prying eyes. So that might be what Arya meant by taking advantage of this situation, using the wedding as an excuse to get out of his cell and meet with us. Lady Steelwind, Your Majesty, the High Speaker is ready to speak with you. Yeah, Ostra is within 10 feet of you, so you should be freaking out. This is like Yandere's simulator. Senpai is here, so Arya loses her shit. Wonderful! I've been looking forward to this all day. Shall we go together, Miss Steelwind? She would be very happy to go with you, yes. Yes, Your Majesty, she would like to accompany you. Wonderful! We shouldn't keep him waiting. Okay. Such a girl. Scaled lord. How does she plan to marry him if she can't even speak properly in his presence? She'll get used to it. Besides, I get the impression it wasn't her plan. Honestly. I also have something important to do. Good day to you, commoners. Wow, he got all his words right. He's going toward the washrooms. I will be taking my leave as well. But make no mistake, did we just come in at the tail end of the wedding? My men will be keeping an eye on you two. If we're coming in at the tail end of the wedding or the beginning of it, Arya is not dressed for it. Oster, arguably. Her, no. At least wear the evening gown. Everyone has left the room now. Maybe we should move somewhere else. I guess I could. Common room. That is the most boring room I've ever seen in my entire life. And look who's here. The most boring person in the room, the entire game. Oh, what are you doing here? Did you follow us? Not intentionally. Boy, this guy's gonna be sick of us by the end of the game. We got him convicted of being a murderer, and we've continued to harass him ever since. Trust me, you're the last person I want to see today. Oh yeah, you. Hush now, Von Sanctus. If they are here by chance, it is because the cosmic balance wills it so. Oh, not this again. Oh, did you find someone even more insufferable than you, poor baby? Sorry, I don't think we've met. I haven't seen your Danganronpa screen yet. I am Coraline Sybil, Lady of the House of Sybil, and probably the next murder victim. There's my Danganronpa screen, Psy'Min. Are you happy now? So this is the head of the Fourth Pillar family. Oh, that's the Fourth Pillar. I knew the other name we heard wasn't the Fourth Pillar family. So Sybil. All right. She's not quite what we were expecting. Between her, Lucio, Lloyd, and William, she definitely seems the most agreeable. For better or worse, we've gotten to know the other Pillar families decently well. It might benefit us to learn more about her. But Foist! Sunlight is shining through this glass window. Very informative. The ceramic altar is at the end of this room. I was right, this is the most boring room in the world. Sunlight is shining. I can barely see the icon up there. Oh, that's the check mark I see. Okay. Boy, that icon really could be in a more helpful spot.
Repario Arcanum.
Nothing. Alright, fine. I guess I'll talk to the cute girl. So you're the leader of House Sybil. What does your family do exactly? How are you this ignorant? Each of the 4 pillars, as you commoners call them, control different branches of the kingdom's government. House Steelwind oversees national defense and law enforcement. House Frega oversees economic development and finances. House Von Sanctus handles commerce, both local and international, which sounds redundant. And finally, there's House Sybil. I imagine she would have said industry in regards to Von Sanctus, because they're literally Von Sanctus Industries. We handle the kingdom's legislative and judicial branches. So, the courts. That would also mean you're responsible for our kingdom's justice system. That is correct. Oh, wonderful! Here we go! Again, we've been harassing you for half the game, haven't we, buddy? Well, I apologize for nothing. Here we go. Tyrion's about to get Tyrion's about to unload on her. Lady Sybil, are you aware of the rampant corruption happening within your justice system? This is our opening topic. This is how we break the ice with this woman. Well done, Tyrion. I suppose it's only inevitable that you'd see it that way. Am I wrong? I've been involved in plenty of court cases, and it's very obvious. All your court cares about is closing cases as quickly as possible. Man, you should have seen Game 2, Chapter 2. Again, we were going into the first trial before the frickin' body was cold. The system is corrupt to its core. The courts don't even try to hide it half the time. Yet you've prevailed against this so-called corruption in each and every one of your cases. Only against every conceivable odd, and I can't be everywhere. Do you have any idea how many commoners are falsely convicted every day? If they are convicted under my system, it's only because the cosmic balance deems it so. Ah, that's your justification for everything. Oh, it happened? Cosmic balance, don't need to explain. What are you even talking about? Cosmic balance, don't even need to explain. The cosmic balance is the natural order of things, and I don't need to explain. Under it, the guilty are punished while the innocent are protected. And yet, when a noble commits a crime, they only need to waive their influence to escape any consequences. all while their victims are forced to suffer in silence. Or worse, an innocent commoner is framed for the crime. Tyrion, you are the worst kind of networker. You're exactly the sort of person I don't want to run into. Regardless of your personal feelings, our kingdom needs the nobility to govern the people. If they were held to the same standard as commoners, our society would surely collapse. We're kind of taken aback about what her being the most we take back what she said. I'm going to take another run up at this sentence. We take back what we said earlier about her being the most agreeable of the four pillars. Yeah, she's... You just thought that because she's a girl, didn't you? The nobility. So you think nobles like Pierce and Von Sanctus should just be allowed to get away with murder? Again, foreshadowing, I think we're going to find you on the floor in about... Give it 10 minutes. Are you still sore about that? I'm sure you realized it by now. I've more than paid for what happened with just Jason Wynn. Have you now? I was about to say, that doesn't quite sound like his name. His name was Justin Wayne. And if you were truly paying for your crimes, you would be in prison right now. Yeah, how come Pierce gets executed and you're just strolling about like nothing happened? Von Sanctus made a mistake, but removing him from his position would only create more suffering. Our government is barely recovering from the death of William Frege. Wyvern can't suffer the loss of another house leader this close to that. The way I see it, I think you nobles overstate your importance in our lives. We'd probably be fine without you. And I suppose you commoners are capable of coordinating macroeconomic initiatives. Oh, and I suppose you're also capable of engaging in diplomacy with the other nations. Face it, as much as you are loath to admit it, ours is a symbiotic relationship. More like a parasitic relationship. So what? The common folk should just continue to suffer for the good of our nation? Lady Sybil, the people of the kingdom you claim to be protecting are suffering because of your inaction. Man, we are just confrontational today. We were resting in bed for 10 days, and we're just getting our mat on now. My inaction? You place the blame on me, but what have you done? You were once a champion of your so-called justice, but you stopped your work as a defense attorney. Ah! Getting called out, my boy. How many lives could you have saved in the month you spent on vacation? Oh, she knows too much. She must die now. It's not his responsibility to solve your mess. You have no idea how much he suffered trying to do the right thing. Celeste, perhaps you're right. He shouldn't bear that kind of responsibility alone. But every commoner has the ability to learn and practice law as you do, Mr. Cuthbert. So why are you one of the few commoners that do so? From what I've heard, you're one of the few people who defend mages of the common folk. Every other attorney wouldn't even consider taking them as clients. Perhaps the problem lies in the common folk, then. They are fully capable of rising to defend the so-called innocent, yet they do nothing. Never mind, this was clearly a mistake. Yeah, as soon as the argument turns against you, you walk away, huh? Let's go, Celeste, yep. Yeah. Finally! Thank the Scaled Lord! Boy, does he hate us. And the feeling is mutual. Are you okay? Yeah, I guess I should have expected that. But I never expected someone with so much power to be so out of touch with reality. Come on, let's go somewhere else. We still have some time before the meeting. But you are still here. When am I gonna get to present my badge to somebody? In a meaningful way. What do you think about this? I don't care. Whatever. Garden! Okay, this is where I suspected the body was gonna be. I guess that's not gonna be the case. Or maybe Pierce is here. Again, Pierce might be the victim as well. One of these people's gonna die. And I just hope it's not me. We find ourselves in the Grand Cathedral's garden and stumble upon a strange statue. Boy, that horse is going to a party. Wow, that's a little out of place. What even is it? Oh! Oh, well, speaking of murderers just walking around, if my memory is... Okay, to be fair, Beatrice isn't getting away with anything. For all the cases that Phoenix has done, for all the people that Phoenix Wright has sent to jail, he's never sent anyone to hell. But we managed that. we literally are sending Beatrice to hell because we forced her to break her contract. So I'm a little surprised she's still on this plane of existence, but okay. If my memory is correct, it's a Pegasus. Ah! Hello, friends! Ah, there's Tracker. Hello, friends! Ruh-roh! As we inspect the contemporary piece of artwork, we're startled by a familiar voice. Yeah! How are you doing? Oh! It looks like she's not alone either. Well, I shouldn't have been surprised by that. Of course, you're trailing along with her. Along with Eris, she seems to be accompanied by both of her sisters. Well, if Tracker is here, wouldn't be surprising for Loft to be as well. Beatrice, aren't you supposed to be dead? Sorry, I wasn't trying to say no. It's perfectly understandable. Is Monaroth here? Is your demon on your shoulder, just being invisible? Making faces at us? You, of all people, know what was on my blood contract. But it appears the Lady of Discord isn't going to kill me just yet. Well, there was the Eris interruption. But here's the funny thing. I didn't see a change in the text. So either I missed it, or Eris tried to change the text and couldn't. I wish I could go back down. If I was quicker, I would have jumped back on Twitch to watch that go by again. But it appears the Lady of Discord isn't going to kill me just yet. Ugh. Do you really have to do that? Oh, she noticed Eris trying to change her text box and was like, "Hey, bitch!" What? Says Tyrion. Never mind. God damn it, Monica. Eris. Yeah, Eris tried to do something and couldn't. That was interesting. I want to know the extent of your powers. What are you and are you not capable of? Because that was the first time I think I've seen her power misfire. Right. It's a little awkward speaking to the Frege sisters after everything that's happened. They don't seem hostile, and all things considered, we prefer their company over Sybil's. Although, we're still not sure how we feel about speaking with a murderer, especially one that we indicted. Well, to be fair, we talk with Lloyd all the time, so get used to it. But Beatrice clearly knows more about demons and their kind than you do. Not only are we talking with Lloyd, we're about to talk to Pierce, so, you know, we're just having the parade of past murderers aside from the headmaster, who I wouldn't be surprised if he showed up at this point. Yeah, Beatrice clearly does know more about demons and their kind than we do. Maybe we could have a chat. I wonder if she knows anything about the Heavensborn. Also, again, Monaroth is probably still here. We just can't see him. What is this thing, by the way? You called it a Pegasus earlier. And why is it wearing a party hat? It's a creature of divine origin. Many people believe that the angels of the upper planes rode those creatures into battle. I see. You feel some kinship to it? I can only feel its suffering. What? Its face is contorted into an expression of pure agony. This party hat is on too tight. It screams out in terror, yet no one can hear its pleas for mercy. Oh, Queen? I think he's broken. Someone ignorant of its plight just placed some sort of vain party hat upon its head. It's as if they're mocking its torment, like some kind of demon torturing a poor soul in the fields of Avernus. What are you even saying? I'm sorry. I need to take a moment to think about what I've just witnessed here. We all should. Alright, Tyrion, you go do that. What the hell was that about? I don't even know where to start with that.
Repario Arcanum.
Other than casting Repario Arcanum, but there's nothing here, so let's chat with the blind chick. So, you seem to be doing well, all things considered. You mean how a demon now has ownership of my soul? Oh, is that what's up? is Monaroth off to pawn that? Yeah, that. How can you be so calm about this? Oh, there you are! We had your face in our profiles. I was wondering when you were going to show up. I must agree with Miriam. It's a little unnerving how nonchalantly you're treating this. I suppose it's the knowledge that everything is out of my hands now. Oh, you're yelling at her, not us. I thought she was yelling at us. There's something peaceful about it. That's certainly a positive way to look at it. Eris just sitting here enjoying herself. You know, my offer still stands. I can try to help you. At the risk of your own life? Which part of the contract would you dispute anyways? We recall reading her blood contract in the courtroom that day. There was very little room for interpretation. It was airtight. The demon I signed that contract with was very meticulous about the details. I've spent the last 5 years looking for any possible loopholes. Okay, so I was curious about this because I speculated that she lost her eyesight due to an accident, and I wondered if it was something to do with experiments involving demons and things like that, or maybe she just joined with a demon, made a pact with, a familiar with, very recently, and the long time before that had absolutely nothing to do with demons whatsoever. But she spent the last 5 years looking for any possible loopholes. 5 years ago was when she left House Frege. And it might have been around the time frame when she lost her eyesight. Maybe. I don't know. I think she lost her eyesight a fair bit before that, because I know her father was trying to muscle her out of inheriting things or being the head of the house or whatever once she lost her eyesight. So I'm curious about the motivations for this pact that she made. I spent the last 5 years looking for any possible loopholes, but I didn't find anything substantial I could use. I don't even think disputing it is possible. Monoroth is just dancing on her shoulders, just like, party! I'm sorry. Don't be. You defeated me. I won't suffer your pity. Well, yeah, tell us about Eris and Monoroth. Maronoth, I gotta say his name right. I feel like we always end up randomly meeting like this, Eris. Oh, it ain't random, buddy. What brings you here? I requested to accompany Beatrice to this event. After all, I don't have many opportunities to enter a church like this. I can imagine. Yeah, Beatrice must know Eris's true nature, right? Like, surely it's got to be part of the pact that Eris was involved with and even helped engineer it. Eris is just like, you shut your mouth. By the way, is your father still... Oh, if you're worried about him, we've already had a conversation about you. I don't think he'll be accosting you anytime soon. Oh, thank you. That seems a little too good to be true. How'd you pull something like that off? He may look like a hardened criminal, but he's always had a soft spot for his family. He's got this soft spot where I stabbed him. He also owed me, and I have a way of making people see things my way. She's right about that. Okay, so I have a feeling Eris did manipulate Beatrice. Eris, they're already friends, quote-unquote. I'm sure Beatrice knows about Eris's true nature, and I would love to hear about that from you, please. Without the edited text boxes. Wait, if you're here, does that mean, Maronoth is also? Oh, heavens no. There's no way they'd let me bring him here of all places. Okay, now that people are aware of him, they're like, no, you can't bring him into a church. I left him at the entrance with the King's Guard. Oh, he's just sitting outside. You left him tied to a pole like a dog. If he tries to escape, that knight over there is ordered to kill me. He points to a knight that's silently watching the sisters from afar. How did you point at him? How do you know where he is exactly? You're surprisingly calm about this. Please, I regularly deal with demons. This is nothing in comparison to that. You really haven't changed. Why are you happy about that? I suppose not. Wait, does that mean you can't see right now? How did you know which statue I was looking at? And also the guy to point at. It was a lucky guess. That grotesque statue certainly makes an impression on you. What's with that face? Oh, Maronoth just spoke with me. He wanted me to let you know that he can smell your celestial stink from the entrance. Well, thank you for going out of your way to pass that along. I appreciate that. Love you too, Maronoth. He knows we're here. It's like, I smell a heaven's born. Somebody get me a clothespin for my nose. Fuck me. Oh, wow. Oh, what did he say now? I probably shouldn't repeat his response to that. Yep. Best buds, us and him. Let's ask about this. By the way, you seem to know a lot more about these things than I do. What exactly is a Heavensborn? What? Did you seriously not know? But you know how to issue a divine edict. That's a very advanced technique. It sort of came to me in the moment. What? Wait a minute, is this news to Eris? Wait, what? What did you just say? Ears perk up? Anyway, I'm quite surprised that you don't know about your lineage. Perhaps my mother knew, but I lost her when I was really young. Eris is just like, I'm listening, I want to learn more about this, keep talking, keep talking. I see, you have my condolences. But to answer your question, a Heavensborn is a human whose bloodline has been touched by the gods. Wow, Eris didn't even try to interfere with that. Gods? You mean like the Scaled Lord? No, I'm speaking of the actual gods. Beatrice! You can't say that here! Oh, come off it. What's the church gonna do, arrest me? I'm literally damned to hell. You can't threaten me with shit. Anyways, your blood has been touched by the celestials of the upper planes. Much like my soul is bound to the abyssal hells, your soul is consecrated and tied to the heavens. The heavens? Is that why we're able to use the Eye of Horus? Is it some kind of angelic power? Make no mistake, though. If you find yourself under the wrong circumstances, even you can be sent to hell. Well, good to know. The Church of Bahamut is prominent in Wivengard, but this is the first time I've heard of the celestial gods. Ah, that makes sense. It's probably because of Wivengard's bloody history with the Theocracy of Lumina. The Theocracy of Lumina. Yeah, aren't they the nation northeast of us? Yes, the Luminites worship the celestial gods, while our people worship the ancient dragons. A few decades ago, our nation was locked in a bitter war with the Luminites. Even now, the Crown sees the celestial religions as a possible threat to our draconic culture. The Church has done its best to wipe out any religions that worship the Celestials. But if your bloodline is blessed by the Celestials, does that mean that our kids will also be heaven-born? Celeste, you're just trying to wind us up. I suppose so. I think my mother was also a... Wait a minute, what did you say? Wait, what did you just say? Your kids. I'm asking if your kids will be heaven-born. No, that's not what you said. That's not what you said. Oh, I must have misheard you then. No, you didn't. Wow. Miriam heard it. If only you were always this easy to lie to. Yeah, our boy is thick. It's like, wow, what? How come you see through me and not everyone else? Motherfucker. Anyway, I'm a little curious about this Theocracy of Lumina. If they worship Celestials there, would I find other Heavensborn there? Heavensborn aren't that common there, either. Frankly, I'm surprised there's even one Heavensborn living in Wivengard. How did your bloodline even find its way here? I suppose I don't really know. My mother never told me much about our ancestry. That makes sense. If the Church of Bahamut knew what you were, they would have definitely hunted you down. Great. The last thing we need is another faction that wants to kill us. Yeah, everybody is out for me. The nobles, the Eye Taker, although we don't know that he's not around anymore yet, and now this. Anyway, travel into and out of Wivengard is technically illegal, and I doubt Lord Steelwind would make an exception for you. He is an old veteran of the Great Luminite War. We'll just ask Celeste how she does it. Veteran? I don't know this word. Vet? Uh-oh, Tracker doesn't like vets, as it turns out. Oh no. I hate the vet. I'm not going. You'll never take me alive. Tracker just takes off. Orf, 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 orf. We all watch as Tracker frantically runs through the garden, barking loudly. Loft chases after him as he runs towards someone. You don't need to chase him, just tell him telepathically. I should probably go help her. Well, it's almost 2 p.m. anyway. We should head to the prayer room. So, well, everyone's gonna leave me here. I can't do anything without being able to see. Someone come back and hold my hand. Thanks for answering my questions, Beatrice. Please let me know if there's anything I can do to help you with your situation. Of course. Let's go, Celeste. Right! Oh, we're gonna have an aside. Oh, actually, technically, Eris is still here. Well, let's learn a little bit more from her. There she is. Try not to look so down. It's almost time for the main event. Are we forgiving Beatrice or employing her help with something in order for her to get forgiven? She's going to facilitate a plan of Eris's. Is that why she's here? Sure, I'll go ahead and have some of my coffee. Who's gonna get killed? Maybe Beatrice is gonna get killed. Maybe she's gonna take the fall in exchange for her soul not getting damned. And who's gonna get plugged for it? Maybe it's gonna be Celeste again. Maybe that's gonna be part of how Eris gets to her. Try not to look so down. It's almost time for the main event. Why did you bring me here? Oh, who knows? Whatever you're planning to make me do, please. Yes, see, Eris said her soul was now owned by a demon. She didn't mention it was Eris, right? Like, it's got to be Eris. And again, following up on other things we still need answers to, Maranoth's master. Surely must be Eris, right? Whatever you're planning to make me do, please. Please don't make me harm my sisters. You're in no position to make demands. I'll make you do whatever the hell I want. You'll just have to see for yourself. Damn. She's just making Beatrice do things. Stay safe, Mr. Cuthbert. Yeah, Beatrice is regretting her life choices and also her, not-so-alive choices. This statue, I can only feel it suffering. What? His face is contorted, it screams out in agony. We hear the same thing. Huh. I wonder where all that came from.
Repario Arcanum.
Still nothing. Yeah. The Nave. Oh, that's the name of that. Prayer room. Well, it's 2 o'clock. Time to go meet with Pierce in what a prayer room kind of looks like a sauna.